Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. It is Tuesday, May 26, 2026. This is Truth News. I am Walter Bass, and we've got a show as usual tonight. But before we start, let's read the First Amendment to the Constitution of the United States of America, because we do still live in the United States of America, even though we are occupied, owned, and operated by foreign nations. This is still the United States of America. This is still the law of the land. Congress shall make law respecting an establishment of religion, or prohibiting the free exercise thereof, or abridging the freedom of speech or of the press, or the right of the people peaceably to assemble, and to petition the government for a redress of grievances, which, as always, is the entire premise of these YouTube videos, redressing the grievances of the kidnapping, violent sexual assault, and murder of my son by serial child predator State Judge Kelly Hansen, who has thousands of victims over his 17-year career. He has kidnapped, raped, murdered, tortured, and sold, using his qualified immunity as a state judge to commit crimes against humanity. So, as always, let's give some recognition to the man responsible for all of these videos, phone calls, federal casework, and the federal lawsuit I just filed against Riverside County and State Judge Kelly L. Hansen, which I'm waiting to hear back from. And that is a serial child predator right there. And this is the child he kidnapped, molested, and murdered my 7-year-old son. I have not seen or heard from since 2021. Haven't seen or heard from my child since 2021. Capitol Police Intelligence told me in 2024 that my son was dead, to stop calling them. I've yet to get my child's remains back from the United States government, because they are domestic terrorists responsible for a genocide of American children, a genocide of Gaza children, working on Lebanon currently, and basically are cannibalistic psychopaths who use mass media, propaganda, lies, and their public servant employment status to do crimes against humanity and be evil and get away with it. That being said, let's get into tonight's show. My first question is, why do we have law enforcement? I have contacted every law enforcement agency, state, local, federal, intelligence agencies, all the way up to U.S. Marshals and Secret Service. And the only thing that's happened is I've been assaulted 3 times. I've had to live in a car for 3 years. My background was falsified to prevent me from working. My Western Union access was completely terminated. And I've been put on 4 mental health holds across 3 states for reporting child sex trafficking of my son to law enforcement. So why do we have law enforcement in the United States of America? Are they just a human trafficking division of the United States government? It certainly appears they are more human trafficking than enforcing the laws. I remember a time when you could call law enforcement and they'd come out and, if you locked your keys in your car, they'd get your keys out of your car for you. They treated you like a human being, talked to you with respect, and, said hi, how you doing, and have a good evening, and things like that. No, not anymore. Not anymore. They are domestic terrorists, as I've experienced in my personal experience in 1,720 days of this nonsense, so Kelly L. Hansen could stick his dick in my 7-year-old son. And law enforcement punishes me for it. Which brings me to my next point. Candace Owens did a show tonight. I pretty much watch Candace every day. And she's an investigative journalist, top notch. U.S. government targets Americans for not believing their nonsensical lies. That's actually documented. There's emails. A lady in the Pentagon was kicked out of the Pentagon for not going along with Pete Hegseth's nonsense, the Fox News propaganda, the state regime media, the domestic terrorist. And she put on her X account, Twitter, whatever you want to call it, the Dropbox that had 7 files in it, and went through the 7 bullet points of how the U.S. government was targeting Tucker Carlson, Candace Owens, Ian Carroll, and other YouTubers and podcasters for simply telling the truth and not believing the government's lies. Like the government murdering Charlie Kirk, like the government raping, murdering, selling, and eating children as documented in the Epstein files. The federal government just stealing billions and billions of dollars. The federal government committing crimes against humanity like bombing children's schools and mass murdering 165 children in Iran. On and on and on. So because no one believes the United States government, you're going to be labeled a domestic terrorist or be put on a mental health hold, or you just might get shot in your neck like Charlie Kirk on national television to try to shut everybody up. Because basically what the game is, either let the government rape, steal, kill, and destroy everything they get their hands on, or you can just, be murdered by the government, like so many other people for decades, from JFK to Charlie Kirk. That's the extent of it. So the reason they've been getting away with this for so long, because some of you might be asking, well, if the government's been doing this so long, how have they been getting away with it? Weapons of mass distraction. Television, movies, music, good old cell phones, Snapchat, TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, all those nice apps, Amazon, Walmart. Everybody just stay distracted. Everybody just stay distracted while the government steals, kills, and destroys every single thing they can get their evil little hands on. And now people are waking up. The distractions are wearing off. The psyops are done. The psyops are a big flop. In case anyone wants to notify the FBI, the CIA, Homeland Security, ATF, NSA, all of these alphabet agencies, can somebody please let them know the psyops are a big flop? It's over. Game's over. Like the whole smoke and mirrors and the Wizard of Oz show with the little man on the box pulling all the levers and, operating the screen. Like, it's over. Show's over. Wrap it up. Go home. Speaking of wrapping it up and go home, I will say I had an epiphany today, or I wouldn't say an epiphany. I would call it more of a flashback, a self-gratification moment. And I don't normally toot my own horn, but in 2022, all this started with my son in 2021. In 2022, I was calling every California politician, putting in for federal casework: Gavin Newsom, Rob Bonta, Eric Swalwell, Nancy Pelosi, Darrell Issa, going through the list of all of them. Sarah Jacobs. So many. I would call every day, email every day, federal casework every day, contact Gavin Newsom. I just contacted Gruesome Newsom 2 weeks ago. Still no reply, nothing. Matter of fact, his office did tell me to stop calling. That's what Gruesome Newsom told me in regards to the child sex trafficking of my son in 2022, 4 years ago. We're pushing, this is the 5th year of this. September 9th will be 5 years. Yeah, Gruesome Newsom's office said quit calling. That's what everyone has told me. Quit calling, stop calling, shut up, go away. So what? Your 7-year-old son got a dick stuck in him and murdered by the government. So what? So what? Happens every day. We've been doing this for decades. You know how many children get dicks stuck in them by public servants of the United States of America? Millions. Millions. So I remember being so upset, yelling, screaming, ranting, and raving, and one of Eric Swalwell's staffers or aides answered in 2022, a young lady. And I remember telling her to pack her crap and get out. You're fired. Nobody wants you. Get out. You are fired. And she laughed at me and she said, "What are you doing, a Trump impression?" And it just dawned on me today while I was at work that he got fired. Only took 4 years, but he got fired. And I wonder if that young lady in Eric Swalwell's office remembers me telling her, "You're fired, get out." See, you got to enjoy the little things. Not that I wish bad upon anybody, but I do hate evil. The Bible teaches me to hate evil, and I despise evil. I hate evil. And as a follower of Christ, as a man, and as a father, I refuse to sit back, bury my head in the sand, drink some beer, pop some pills, watch some porn, and allow my taxpayer-funded public servants to rape, murder, sell, and eat children with absolutely zero accountability, none whatsoever. So, I'm prepared to die on this mountain as I signed up and surrendered my life to Jesus Christ. That's what I signed up for. That's what you agreed to. Those are the terms and conditions. Pick up your cross every day. Pick up your cross every day and follow me. And Jesus died on that cross. And if you're going to pick up your cross every day, you got to be willing every day to die, because these psychopaths who pose as public servants of the United States government, who are actually just domestic terrorists paid off by foreign nations, and we all know who, they are mass murdering psychopaths. They don't care. They'll kill anybody, anywhere, anytime. Whether it's by plane crash, car crash, bullet, they don't care. Hangings like the good old Clinton Foundation, the man who was hung with an extension cord, shot in the chest with a shotgun and ruled a suicide, or the double murder of Georgia Senator Nancy Schaefer and her husband for opposing CPS and exposing them as the world's largest child sex trafficking organization on planet Earth. Yeah. But I digress. America is infested with pedophiles with protection of the cult of Congress. I mean, I can't say it any more clear than that. America is infested with pedophiles who are protected by the cult of Congress. The MAGA Mike Johnsons, the Jim Jordans, the James Comers, the Tim Burchetts, the Chuck Schumers, these are all pedophile protectors. Every one of them. Look what happened to Marjorie Taylor Greene, Thomas Massie, Lauren Boebert, Ro Khanna. Look what happened to them for opposing pedophilia, for standing up to protect children from being raped by grown men. Look what happened to them. Well, Thomas Massie had his congressional seat purchased for, I believe, $35 million. So are we the Tel Aviv States of America? The United States of Jerusalem now? Is that what this is? The United States of Jerusalem, the Tel Aviv States of America? Should I be trying to contact Miriam Adelson, Benjamin Netanyahu, Josh Hammer, Ben Shapiro, Mark Levine? Should I be contacting these people because they own and operate our government? Maybe Mark Zuckerberg? Maybe BlackRock, Vanguard, or State Street. Maybe I should contact one of the big corporate sponsors of my taxpayer-funded public servants and just go directly to the source. Stop using the middlemen of Congress and the presidential cabinet and the president himself. They're all owned and operated by corporations, foreign nations, cartels, terrorists. They don't care. They'll sell out to anybody with $1. Well, maybe it takes more than $1, maybe a couple of million. But I digress. Turns out TDS, Trump derangement syndrome, stems from Donald Trump himself. Turns out he's deranged. He's the only deranged one. And he's assembled a cult. And he has projected this Trump derangement syndrome upon millions of Americans using mass media. The only deranged person that I see is the Dementia Don, pedophile president of America, the world's most famous child rapist. Old diaper-wearing Don, Diaper Don, with the dirty butt crack because he can't hold his poops on himself. The president of the United States of America poops his pants, is 80 years old, has dementia, and rapes teenage girls. That's the truth. That's the truth. Censor me, block me, shadow ban me. YouTube can do whatever they want. I'm not in this for the money. Clicks, likes, makes no difference to me. I just document the truth. That's all I'm doing. That's what you sign up for when you sign up to follow Jesus Christ. You sign up for the truth. Nothing more, nothing less. So the desperation of this cult of America stinks to high heaven. Do you see how desperate they are? I mean, they are paying Gary of Paramount Tactical. They are paying the Nick Shirleys. They are paying Ben Shapiro's, Mark Levine's. This cult, the loony Laura Loomers, this cult is desperate. The Erica Kirks, the grieving Black Widow. This cult is desperate to contain its secrets, which are out. Everybody knows. What's done in the dark will be brought to the light. There's two things I can guarantee everybody in life right now. Guaranteed. Nobody gets away with anything. And nobody gets out of life alive. Nobody. Don't care who you are. Don't care how big your bank account is. Don't care how many businesses you own. Don't care how many nations you have connections with. Nobody gets away with anything. And nobody gets out of life alive. That's the truth. So, unfortunately, this cult is clueless when it comes to self-awareness and reading a room. Their delusional psychosis is so ingrained, they have, first of all, they never lived in reality. These people don't go to grocery stores, they don't go to gas stations, they don't live normal lives. They are completely detached from society, from humanity, and from reality. They live in these little bubbles. And these bubbles are just infested with bottom feeders clinging to every single word and action they say and do. Just, oh, you're so great. You're the greatest. Oh, yeah, you're great. They got like fluffers following them around. Congressional aides and congressional staffers are actually just fluffers. Let's call it what it is. They're fluffers. They go around fluffing them up, making them feel good, keeping them ready for the moment for when Fox News shows up with their cameras and their mics to spread their propaganda, the state regime media. And talk about a lack of self-awareness. I mean, the whole world knows everything that's going on with this entire facade, this reality show, this fake and gay, nonsensical government, posing government, how fake it is, how ridiculous it is, how nonsensical it is, completely. So, and they can't read a room. They go in a room, they say the most outlandish and preposterous things and expect to get some kind of response from the room. And everybody's just looking at them like, are you okay? Like, are you mentally okay? It's the most ridiculous thing I've ever seen. Speaking of reading in the room and self-awareness, are we still talking about Epstein, this creep? Are we still talking? Yes, we are, Dementia Don, Diaper Don, the world's most famous child rapist, pedophile punk Donald Trump. Yes, we are still talking about Epstein because raping and murdering and selling children is not acceptable in any society. None whatsoever. Zero. No human being accepts that as normal or rational behavior. Period. Full stop. So absolutely, we're still talking about Epstein. And speaking of Epstein, has anyone been arrested? I mean, we have all the victims testifying, going to the FBI, filling out 302 forms, witness statements, videos, testimonies, congressional testimony, lawyers. Has one arrest been made? How about Eric Swalwell? I spoke of him earlier. He raped 6 women. Has he been arrested? No. How about Rick Scott for stealing $1.3 billion in taxpayer money? Has he been arrested? Oh, he's an active member of Congress. That's right. What a nation we live in, huh? What a nation. Turns out fake and gay has advanced to psycho and cray. So let's change the fake and gay that Candace Owens started and let's turn it into psycho and cray. Because that's what this cult is, posing as United States government officials, public servants of we the people, the taxpayers. Psycho and cray. That's pretty much it. Cannibalistic heathens on the hill have the audacity to call everyone crazy. I want you to understand where someone has to be mentally. I want you to try to reason this, make this make sense. People who rape, murder, sell, and eat children are calling hardworking American citizens for just telling the truth crazy. Think about that for a minute. First of all, what type of human being rapes, murders, sells, and eats innocent children, and then goes home and sleeps at night or spends time with their own family. Who can do that psychologically? Where are you at mentally? I mean, you have to be, that's beyond Charles Manson. That's beyond Jeffrey Dahmer. That's beyond John Wayne Gacy. That's beyond the Son of Sam, David Berkowitz. This is so outlandish, so preposterous that these demonic cult members can rape, murder, sell, and eat children, and then go on a camera in front of the whole world and call everyone crazy for reading the facts and truth from the Epstein files about the case. And the fact that no one has been charged. No one in America has been charged with cannibalism, with murdering children, with raping children, with selling children. No one's been charged. Not Howard Lutnick, not Mark Zuckerberg, not Elon Musk, not Jeff Bezos, Richard Branson. None of these demons have been charged with one crime. But what they do got is billions of dollars. They got money. That's all they got is money. And I'll be honest with you. If the deal was I had to rape, murder, sell, and eat babies for money, I'm never going to have any money. I don't want any money. And anybody with money can get away from me immediately, ASAP. Don't want nothing to do with you. And it's a sad day in the United States of America when I have to make YouTube videos and deal with 1,720 days of domestic terrorism. Make no mistake, it is absolutely domestic terrorism. Also, public servants can stick dicks in children. Think about that for a minute. Think about that. Every YouTube video I make, everything I do, all the federal casework I've put in for almost 5 years, 1,720 days today, since Thursday, September 9th, 2021, I have been banned from Truth Social, banned from X, banned from using Western Union. My background was falsified. I've been physically assaulted 3 times. I was forced to live in a car for 3 years. I've been put on 4 mental health holds across 3 states. I have had Oklahoma City Detective Intelligence Officer Brad Cotton threaten to find me and put me in the ground. I've had Lieutenant Jeremy Durant of the Marietta Police Department threaten to kill me. Spencer Parker from the Marietta Police Department threatened to kill me. Riverside Sheriff's deputies who refused to identify themselves threatened to kill me. I have been threatened with murder. I don't know how many times. I've been told more than once that my child was dead. Stop calling. I have been laughed at, ridiculed, mocked, smited, called crazy. I've been told I suffer from delusions of grandeur because I don't want the government to stick dicks in innocent children. But these demonic, satanic pedophiles just can't stop raping kids. They can't. They refuse. Not only can they not stop, they refuse to even accept that the whole world knows. Iran is making Lego videos that the United States is ran by pedophiles. Pedophiles. Matter of fact, they tried just a few years ago. Does anyone remember the whole minor attracted persons when they tried to legalize pedophilia? Do you remember that? I do. I remember when the United States government was pushing a bill to legalize pedophilia by calling them minor attracted persons. I'm looking for a section in here to see where it says we have a right and a duty to overthrow our government when they act against our interest. It is the right and our duty to replace those government and install new guards. Let me see if I can find it. I don't know. I don't think I can find it this quick. Maybe it's here. No. It's in the beginning of the Constitution. But it's in the Constitution. It's actually in the movie. I pulled it from the movie National Treasure. When in the course of human events, it becomes necessary for one people to dissolve the political bands which have connected them with another, and to assume among the powers of the earth the separate and equal station to which the laws of nature and of nature's God entitle them, a decent respect to the opinions of mankind requires that they should declare the causes which impel them to the separation. We hold these truths to be self-evident, that all men are created equal, that they are endowed by their Creator with certain unalienable rights, that among these are life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. That to secure these rights, governments are instituted among men, deriving their just powers from the consent of the governed, that whenever any form of government becomes destructive of these ends, it is the right of the people to alter or to abolish it, and to institute new government, laying its foundation on such principles and organizing its powers in such form as to them shall seem most likely to effect their safety and happiness. Does anyone feel safe or happy in the United States of America and where we are? I don't think so. As always, we're going to close with a Bible verse. It's going to be a short one. It's going to be Galatians 5:1 is where I'm going to start. And we're going to go to Galatians 5:1, and we'll just go with 5:1. It was for freedom that Christ set us free. Therefore, keep standing firm and do not be subject again to a yoke of slavery. Don't be mentally enslaved. Don't be emotionally enslaved. Don't be spiritually enslaved by this demonic, satanic occult known as the United States government, aka public servants. These people are out of their minds. They are crazy. They all need to be placed on Little St. James Island and left there to rot, as they are dead already. They're just wasting God's good air. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for your time. Thank you for your attention. I appreciate everything. I hope you like, share, and subscribe to this channel and these videos, and I will see you tomorrow.